Does your work energize you? Does it make your impact on the world? Welcome to Start Anew, the show that looks beyond success into freedom, fulfillment, and your passion-driven career. Join your host, Sumbul Sang, for inspiring stories and bite-sized training to help you start anew with clarity. And now, here is Sumbul.
This is part 2 of my interview with my friend and Paralympian Tanner Gers. For part 1 of this interview, check out the previous episode, number 26, when Tanner goes deep and personal with us and shares his journey of overcoming adversity, surviving, and thriving from it. In today's segment, Tanner shares the lessons learned from his journey, his daily rituals of how he steps into his greatness, how he finds fulfillment in life, and much, much more. Now, shifting gears a little, looking back at your experiences, what have you found to be the most common challenges that hold people back from reinventing themselves and creating a life of their dreams?
It's a pretty easy question to answer. That I can say that now, but realizing it in myself and overcoming it is not easy. And it's fear. That's what holds people back. The fear of failure, the fear of what other people will think about them, the pressures of society or family, the fear of everything. And that stems back to when we're kids and we've heard stuff from our parents or from a teacher or from a bully or from a friend. And those fears have been ingrained into our subconscious. So, they often manifest, today in that voice, that little voice in your head when you're pushing yourself really hard, like, for example, on a longer run, and that voice in your head says, stop. Or you're doing something really physical, that's when that voice in your head says, you have to stop. Stop. Why are you doing this? Or when you're taking yourself outside of your comfort zone, that chatter, that ego, that ego says, you're going to fail. You're not worth it. You don't deserve this. So it all comes back to fear. And, when you can manage that, and, life is full of fear. And life is full of failure. But when you can manage that effectively and just realize that your self-worth isn't dependent upon any one performance in your life, that the biggest success is moving forward towards the things that make you happy and living up to your potential and participating in the activities that will put a smile on your face and being proud of yourself. Again, getting over the fear of whatever activity or behavior that is going to lead to those things of happiness. That's the biggest thing that holds people back.
You talk about pursuing happiness and success, which are extremely important. But what about fulfillment, which I personally pursue by growing and serving? What do you do to find fulfillment in your life?
Well, I guess we are brother and sister from another mother, because because that's some of the things that are the most fulfilling and bring me the most happiness and joy. That's why I became a speaker. That's why I started the Creative Success Podcast. That's why I have a health and fitness blog and a sports performance membership platform. And that's why I do everything that I do, is because giving back to others is the most fulfilling thing that I think anybody can do. I mean, yeah, sure, making money is great, but that only solves the problems that money can solve. That doesn't fulfill relationships, make them meaningful. grow those relationships. That doesn't do anything. The only problems that money can solve are the problems that money can solve. And you have to go much, much deeper to really get over the big things, the big problems in life. And, serving and giving back to others is, for me, one of the most fulfilling things. So, but that's not to say, if you can make a monetary gain from doing those things, from serving, fulfilling, and, helping other people, that's great, fantastic. That's awesome. But whatever it is that you need to do, whatever job or 9 to 5 or whatever that you're using as a tool to finance you living your dream and being able to do whatever it is that makes you happy, that's awesome too. And there is no shame in that. I think that you might agree that, just helping people realize that, it's the pursuit of happiness and doing within integrity, doing whatever you got to do what makes you happy.
We've talked about happiness, success, and fulfillment. Now let's talk a little bit about one of the most important skills to have to become successful: self-discipline. One of my favorite personal development authors, Brian Tracy, says that self-discipline is the key to success and greatness. Do you have any mini habits or routines that help you stay disciplined?
I couldn't agree more with Mr. Tracy. And discipline is just another way to package like never give up, right? And when you have discipline, for example, when you have habits that are centered around the mission that you have, the goals that you have, the why, your passion, when you have these habits and disciplines centered around that and you never give up, you always move forward towards them, that's when, doors really start to open. That's when you can step into your greatness and your creative success. But for me, the things that I have a lot of discipline around are my daily routines. And I have reminders to help me with that. So, on my iPhone, I have I have an alarm system set up on specific days during the week to remind me, okay, it's time to transition to do this. And I just have to decide, like, all right, it's time to do that. And then just do it. And, but some of the daily things that I have established as now habit, the disciplines, if you will, that really help me move forward, or is one, gratitude, forgiveness, and goals. And the gratitude, forgiveness, and goals are things that I practice twice a day, at least twice a day. So when I wake up and when I go to bed, I'm going to be in bed anyway, just laying there. So might as well make the most of it with gratitude, forgiveness, and goals. So I do that. I give gratitude. I give forgiveness. I ask for forgiveness. I forgive myself as well as others. And I give gratitude for the small things. And then I restate and recite and affirm my goals and who I am as a person. And, that there, once I've done that, then I get out of bed and I get after it. And then I go through, normally my daily process of ongoing education. I love reading. I highly recommend that whatever it is that you intend to create in your life, you find a book on skill development, on developing a skill, or the knowledge that will help you succeed in what you are intending to create. And the easiest way to do that is to find your weakness, right? Whatever you are the weakest at, get after it by educating yourself. Practice that practice developing the skill that you're weak in. And, that's how you become stronger. That's how you move towards your goals and manifest the dreams quicker than you ever thought possible. So, if you do those two things on a daily basis and then commit at least 1 hour a day towards making progress towards your goals, Sumbul, think people often, life is a marathon. And so when they look at life as a marathon, that, they're aware of that. And then they get discouraged by the fact that, man, life is a marathon. How many steps are in a marathon? That's way too many steps. Like, why even do that? I'd rather just watch TV or, check Facebook again, check my email, whatever. And, so I was breaking down for a friend of mine. I said, dude, just 1 hour a day. 1 hour a day is not that much, but in a year, that equates to over 9 weeks of 40 hours a week. If you committed 9 weeks and worked 40 hours a week over those 9 weeks, how much could you get done? Well, that's what you can do 1 hour a day in a year. That's what that equates to. So, get over the fear of the marathon being too long. Make your habits, get out, be disciplined about it, and just make it happen. All you got to do is do it. So why not do it?
Just do it, as Nike says.
Absolutely. I like to say, too, time's going to pass anyway.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do with it?
Tanner, I really enjoyed listening to your journey. You are an amazing storyteller, and I'm a huge fan of your podcast, The Creative Success Show. In fact, it is my go-to place for motivation.
Thank you so much. I really I loved hearing that, and that's that's why I do it, right? So everybody listening right now, that the feeling, the warmth in my heart right now from hearing that it makes everything that I do worthwhile. I know, even though I don't hear all the people that I touch, you won't hear all the people that you touch, but you know that you're having an impact. So let's have an impact together.
Let's do it.
Woo!
So tell us, what do you mean by creative success, and where did its inspiration come from?
Well, it's also my personal email that I've had since I had, like, it was like my first email, as a blind man, and it came from that, I can do almost anything, like, besides drive a car or become like a jet, a pilot of a jet fighter plane. There's some things that I can't do, but it's almost limitless. There's almost no limit on some of the things that I can do. I just have to get creative about how I do them. And so achieving success, regardless of circumstance, can happen when you are creative. And there's so many stories that I can tell about, living like a blind man, like just being able to stand in front of a toilet and actually get my pee inside the toilet. Like, that took a long time to figure out how to get toothpaste in my mouth without it getting all over the counter and on my face and on my shirt. But I figured it out. I figured out how to do it. And now I never spill toothpaste or pee on the floor or whatever, because I just figured it out. And so when you get creative and you can achieve success regardless of circumstance. So that's the inspiration behind the show.
Tanner, thanks for joining the show today and sharing your amazing story with us. I think you've accomplished more in the last 10 years than many do in their entire lifetime. You're an inspiration to people in all walks of life. Please tell us where we can connect with you online and how we can hear more from you, and then we'll say goodbye.
Thank you so much. And again, it's been a pleasure being on your podcast. I love what you're creating here. So if anybody wants to get a hold of me or check out what I'm doing, the best place is creativesuccessshow.com. I believe I'll have 10 of the most recent episodes of the show up there. There's contact forms on there if you want to reach out to me. And, if you have a question you'd like me to answer, there's opportunities to record your voice right there on the website. I've got it all. I'm pretty open book. I don't mind sharing everything that I've done to get to where I'm at, and to how to attack your day with an unrelenting mindset that will inevitably lead to you achieving whatever goal you have in life. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, check me out at creativesuccessshow.com. And I'm everywhere, on Twitter or Instagram, on Facebook. You can find me there too. So I look forward to seeing you guys on that platform.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Start Anew Show. We invite you to be more than a passive listener. Be a starter. Join our community and snag exclusive freebies from Symbol and her guests at letstartanew.com. Create your vision of freedom and fulfillment right here on the Start Anew Show.